Trouble keeping up with the Joneses? Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is Madden NFL Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Aaron Jones, no picnic a week ago. He's looking for another big game, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
There's a look at one of the most iconic sports venues in the lower 48, built back in 1957 under the title of City Stadium. We are at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We all know this community lives for its Packers, and the green and gold came out of the tunnel a short time ago, and it was loud. We are ready for football, so are they, as the Packers get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. From up top, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles Davis, as always, with me as well. And CD, defenses better be on their toes in this one because we got two quarterbacks who love to throw the football, and they throw it very well.
Over 4,000 yards each in the previous season. So what you're saying is, if you're a defender, I hope you prepared properly. Hydrated, stretched, be on your toes, as you said, because the ball's coming your way.
Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense led by number 12, Aaron Rodgers. And the Pack in an unfamiliar position this year. They have not made the playoffs for 2 years running. 6-9-1 a year ago. And now with a new head coach in Matt LaFleur, no guarantee certainly that they'll play meaningful football in January this year. They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage. Stuff them in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were
And right away, he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Cousins now after the fumble recovery. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Herb Smith Jr., his third touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. A good grab there by the former Central Michigan man, Antonio Brown.
And he ate up some real estate on the catch, too, didn't he? I think the most impressive part of it, though, if there's a chance for him to get the football, even though he was covered well, he somehow finds a way to get it.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On 2nd and 11 now. Rodgers got him in. It's Brown. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And now the offensive starters for the Packers.
It's tough to be an offensive lineman in Green Bay because their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, knows how to keep plays alive and often extends them for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. But David Bakhtiari, his left tackle, he does it as well as anyone could ever expect. Excellent footwork, knows that the plays are going to stay alive for a long time. Often will get 2 or 3 blocks on the same play.
Now Rodgers. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if...
That's caught inside the 20. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Marquise Brown, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. We'll look now at our starting defense. Currently number 1 in the NFL against the run.
And that's a ranking that feels good, right? To be number 1 and be the top of your profession. But here's the problem. It's only week 1.
1 week, yeah.
Can they do it 15 more times? If so, then we really got something to talk about.
That's the challenge. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And that's complete to Adams. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Rodgers to throw on 3rd and 1. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. Rodgers will bring him up to the line, 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Back for the 2nd quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Check. Watch 54. Get the ball.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Check. 54. 47-yard line.
got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
To throw is Rodgers. And able to find Graham, complete.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that...
Now the ball comes loose, and the Vikings pick up the football. He's got the lane, and there he goes. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown.
That's it, baby. We got 6.
This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Our eyes shift now to the Vikings defense. And for their efforts so far, they deserve a little defensive montage here.
I like that. I like how you recognize what they're doing out there and how much fun they're having, because that's indeed what's going on. Beating them to the punch just about every snap now, swarming, swooping, taking the ball away. This is a lot of fun to watch.
Opportunistic, right?
Very much so.
Throwing now is Rodgers. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Khalil Mack. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. And he's going to go down again. Khalil Mack picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
It's caught here by Adams. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And taken right on the 30. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Bell. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
I think Le'Veon Bell is now recognized mainly for his hesitation move, but he makes so many people miss. I think that's what makes him an elite runner in this league.
He's been doing that since high school when he was a Groveport Cruiser in Ohio and on to Michigan State and now into the National Football League. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be second and goal. Here's second and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. An extra defensive back on the field here for third and goal. Cousins to throw it this time. The quick slant caught, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. D.D. Westbrook, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Seibert on for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now let's discuss Antonio Brown as he heads back out there now. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll get started up in Detroit as the LA Chargers pay a rare visit to Ford Field. And it's the Lions who hold on to the lead in that one. Kenny Golladay, a touchdown reception. From there, it's over to our nation's capital to check on the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Dallas Cowboys. 2 touchdown passes for the veteran Alex Smith. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore to check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And that game level as they take on the visiting Arizona Cardinals. In the game you're watching, it's been Kirk Cousins with a hot hand in the first half. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front as we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This one fielded at the 5. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Elsewhere on this Sunday in the NFL, they're in the second quarter in Detroit. It's the Lions that have grabbed the early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. The second half starts with a carry by Bell. Adrian Amos up to make the tackle.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Le'Veon Bell, it's a foot race. Touchdown, Vikings. Le'Veon Bell, his first touchdown of the new season as his guys continue to pour it on. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and the lead will swell by one more. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. A reminder coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one from Atlanta. Eagles and Falcons, 8:20 Eastern. And then tomorrow on Monday Night Football, Odell Beckham back in New York, back in MetLife Stadium. Browns and Jets, 8:15 Eastern on Monday night. They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
On 2nd and 1, Rodgers. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week. He's smiling. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them.
Under pressure, they got him again. Khalil Mack able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything. Change it up, because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. Back now at Lambeau. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And now out comes Minnesota. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
That's complete. It's Kyle Juszczyk. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Throwing, Mariota. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Blake Martinez, the linebacker, was there in coverage to disrupt. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 27-yard line. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Mariota. He's got a man. It's his fullback. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
Again, it's Mariota. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule, because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and that will extend this big lead. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Packers get set to go.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. To throw, it's Rodgers. And that'll be intercepted by the Pro Bowl safety Harrison Smith. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick six for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick six in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. Tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now Rodgers to try again after the pick six. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Rodgers' throw is taken in by Jones.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Here's Rodgers to Valdez-Scantling over the middle. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 32-yard line. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Now Rodgers going to throw again. And he comes back with one complete. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Complete to Jones. It's a gain of 8, and it'll wind up moving the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block.
And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Crosby connects on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it ends with a Packers touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Elsewhere, Ford Field, they're into the 4th quarter now. A high-scoring affair, and the Chargers have now taken the lead. Phillip Rivers, 2 touchdown passes thus far. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
20! And he completes it to Westbrook. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. A little insult to injury here late in the game. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.
So for the Vikings, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.